Hey everybody, this is Crazy with Crazy Gaming, and we're back for another episode of Evening Crafters. So, just to begin, before we begin here and stuff, I was going back through some of the recordings I've made since I started this series. Um, I had been out for quite a while because I suffered some illnesses and stuff, and I couldn't make videos or anything for quite a while, been probably a year or more. And I've tried to come back a couple times, and I was still feeling still sick. I kind of rushed it, but I'm doing really good now, and I've made about 5 episodes of this. And even though I've made these videos, I was going back through and watching some of the videos the other day, and I didn't realize that my sound reduction, noise reduction thing wasn't working, and you guys could hear every keystroke or every time I breathed or grunted or any of that, which makes me feel really stupid because I've been doing videos for a while now, and during that period when I was gone, I lost probably more than half of my, um, probably about three-quarters of my subscribers because everybody just left, and I don't blame them. I get that. But I fixed that now. I'm going to do some jumping. I'm pounding on my keyboard, and as you can see, you're not picking. It's not picking up anymore because I actually went in and set up my noise reduction app, and I'm not having that problem anymore. Anyways, that being said, so I apologize for these videos. You guys are probably really frustrated with all that. But anyway, so well, I jumped on yesterday. I made a video the day before, and then had a problem. My computer crashed, and I lost the MP4 file. And so I did a recording again later and I didn't get it out till late in the evening, and that was episode 5. But I came back in, and I woke up early in the morning, about 3 in the morning, and I felt like playing some, so I jumped on, and I didn't record because I was still frustrated with what was going on, and I didn't know what was going on with my noise reduction app, so I didn't want to record, but I wanted to play. So I've been doing some things, and so we're going to go over that right now, and just to guys kind of give you guys an idea of what I've been doing and what's going on, and all that good stuff. Okay, so two things or a few things. One, I've made a rover now, so we have a rover. That's really cool. It goes really fast. We'll use that, later. Um, or maybe we could take it for a spin now. Now, I made another vehicle as well. I don't see it. Where did I put that thing? Or did it not save it? We're going to find out right now. There it is. Okay, so I also made a tunneling machine. And so that's what's sitting over there. That's what's parked over there. I couldn't get it on here. Oh, now I've got this stuck. You gotta be kidding me. So this game does have its issues. I'm gonna have to delete this belt so I can get through here, get out of here. So normally I could just drive over it, but I've never tried driving it over with the rover. But the rover usually goes up and down and around stuff pretty easy. Let me get out of here. Let's go V and let's connect this back up. So what I do want to do though is, this is a tunnel digger. It works really well, as you're going to see here in a minute. It's not going to let me access it with this, so I'm going to run over and do it. What's my inventory look like? That's pretty full. I know what I was going to do. Let's do this real quick so I can get that thing back on the concrete. Alright, so I'm going to run over here. What we're going to do is I'm going to make this a little easier to get up and down on with my vehicles, because they are very difficult to get up and down from here. And what I got to do is I've got to extend this out because everything has a problem, and I don't understand why they haven't made ramps for this. But now it says, I did notice the other day, and I'm gonna have to do some research on this. It's every time I pick a foundation, it tells me that available in multiple shapes, but I can't find I don't understand, or I can't find how to use the other shapes, because I could probably build some sort of ramp if I could make like use triangle shaped stuff. So that's weird. What's going on with that? That's not what we want. All right. Now we made a big hole. Let's fill those up. Anyhow, but yeah, so I'm hoping that's going to afford us to be able to get back on this thing with this. But yeah, this tunneler is awesome. Yeah, there we go. That's better. All right. What's the battery look like on this thing? Yeah, it's doing pretty good. I'm going to go park this in the garage. Wait, I know what I wanted to do. I almost forgot. I got a bunch of stuff in the trunk of this thing. I want to move all this stuff into here. Oop, not like that. Because as you can see, it has one hell of a storage capacity, which is really nice. Let's get the trash can out here. Let's get rid of this stuff. All right, so I'm going to get... Dang it. What do I keep doing? I'm going to get as much of this stuff out of here as I can and move it over because, well, I don't want to spoil it. Let's just put all this stuff in there. There we go. That's going to make things easier. Yikes. But the storage capacity on the rover is like the best, as you can see. Oh, and our bags are upgraded because we now have the ability to carry things 30 at a time. All right, so there we go. Let's take this thing. We'll park it so it will charge in the garage. But yeah, this thing is awesome, man. I mean, it is awesome. Which you will see. Because did I use it? Yes, I did. Alright. So that should be getting charged. Let's double check, make sure we got everything out. Yep. Yeah, so I decided to go do some exploring. I mean, it's amazing to me that I haven't explored really that much of this world, you know? I also went over and dropped a water purifier back over that way. I also put down a, you can see it straight across right there. It's, if I look directly ahead, you can see it sitting on that cliff. I put down another one of these. The power, let's get across here. I put one of those plants down for power. You still have the stuff to make the nuclear plant, but I'm going to use that over in the cold area. So, I didn't want to... Now, the place that we're going is all the way on the other side of this little continent here. If I open the map, it is all the way over here. Driving around to get there every time took forever, and it was a pain in the butt. So I used this tunneler. I dug this tunnel. That tunneler is awesome. And I was digging the tunnel at speed like I'm traveling right now. And it dug this stuff like nothing. It even dug through some rock. You'll see here shortly. We're going to come out of this one and go into another one. But Yeah, this tunnel, or see, this is all this other cave we dug is that's all rock. It's solid rock, and so not all the way through, but for the first bit of it. And it just dug through this stuff like nothing. It was great. And so instead of driving it, which took up forever to get all, to get all the way around the island to over to the spot we're going to, now we can just drive straight through from our base straight through like this. And I found this area, and the reason this area is important is because I want to manufacture some more. I want to start manufacturing some of the high-end parts and stuff that we use to make things like the tier 3 miners and computers and all that kind of stuff. And so we're going to manufacture all that stuff over here. And this area, as you can see, which is really awesome, it's actually better than the area we're at now. And we're going to set up so we can mine all that stuff. I mean, so we can build all that stuff, and then we're going to ship all that stuff into a tier 3 storage. And then we'll always have access to that, and we'll be able to build miners anywhere, or power stations, or nuclear power stations, or whatever we want on the fly without having to stop and make stuff or go grab stuff out of containers to put it all together. Because we have what's called a tier 2 parts, a version 2 parts assembler that does combines 3 items. And that's how we make some of the higher end stuff. And here we are. Look at that. So this is the new place that I found. And what you need to see is what we got here. Gold deposit. Gold deposit. Osmium deposit. I mean, this thing is amazing. Osmium part deposit. Iron, I think. That's iron. There's another osmium. Crystal. Another osmium, copper, another iron, another crystal, gold. That's iron, copper, osmium, gold, gold. So we got all this stuff like right here in this little small area. And then over on that, this is just this side. Another osmium. Oh no, that's cobalt, I think. Nope, it's osmium. Another gold. Graphite. This is osmium. That's cobalt right here. This one's cobalt. Another osmium, and another cobalt. So we got all these ores just right here. And so I was like, holy crud, man. And look how close everything is together. So, I mean, we can make, with the ore pockets that are right here, we can make almost every part in the game and ship all that stuff into a large tier 3 warehouse, probably 2. I'm going to probably build 2 or 3 right along this back here. We're going to ship everything this way. We're not going out over the water this time. And yeah, so we'll be able to build tier 3 miners anywhere we are on the fly, and we will be able to build storage units, tier 3, 2, or 1. Level 1, 2, or 3 storage units. We'll be able to build the, what's those things called? There's the tier 3 warehouse. That's right now we have up to 30, I think, in our bags. But once we build this, that's gonna jump quite a bit. I think it's 60. It doubles. Anyways, but yeah, we'll be able to build a nuclear plant or the geothermal plant. That's the one that we built on the other side over there. And we'll be able to build these on the fly anywhere else. Now, here is the climate regulator that we unlocked the other day. And this thing, we want to make a bunch of these because this area and that area close to where we are, and then across where the volcano is, and then out where those cold weather islands are, we can put down one on each one of those, and it'll complete what we need to complete. We've already done the one for power, but we need to do climate change, and we need to climate change all these hot areas and all the cold areas. And what this machine does when you set it down is it starts converting the climate. If it's a high temperature, it brings it down to a manageable temperature. If it's a really cold temperature, it brings it up to a manageable temperature. So you don't have to wear the cooling suit or the warming suit or any of that stuff. Also, um, it also unlocks more stuff, and if you set multiple down, it does it even faster. So we want to do that. We want to get those built, and we want to create a bunch more of the water purifiers version 2. We want to make a bunch of these. Now, see all the parts that it takes. We'll manufacture all those parts here. Easy peasy, no problems. And load those into our tier 3 warehouses, and we'll be able to build these on the fly. We won't even have to carry anything in our inventory except for food and maybe the tools like this. This is a rock scanner, a rock deposit scanner, which I finally built yesterday. So if I hit 5 and see it's scanning, and it does quite a big scan. Now I open the map, and it's telling me everything. It would show me if I hadn't found these already, they would show up. All this stuff would show up. Look at this pockets right here. It's just crazy. Insanity. So I believe I got everything here. Nope, I still got stuff back here I could get too, but I don't really need it. And I think that's iron back there. There's a pocket of that, and then there's something else I think up around the corner right there. But this was all part of this mountain range right here, and I cleared all this off. As you can see, I stepped it and everything. So it took a while to get all these ores, because as you mine them, as you know, if they're up high, if you mine underneath them, they drop to the ground. So everything now is on the same, because these were all on different levels, high, low, all that stuff. I built this little base here. We have a place to replenish our oxygen, obviously. Now, once we get the version 2 water purifier in, and we set up some what do you call it? What's those things called? I keep forgetting. Climate regulators. We get a couple of those down here and start growing trees and stuff here. This will all become oxygenated in this area, and we won't have to worry about running out of oxygen here. Just like in the first place where we built in the game when we started this one. That's all oxygenated in that area. I can run around over there for an hour and I don't have to replenish my oxygen. Anyway, so that being said, so I built this. I haven't put anything in here. I just put a bench in here. I had to go back to the other base because I can't do anything here because I didn't have the stuff that I need to build stuff here. And I wanted to build one of these here and so on and so forth, but I didn't have that stuff. Hence the reason I brought all that stuff in here. I need wire. I need this stuff. I don't want all of it at once because it's too much. Because I want some of the other stuff. Let's see. Grab that. Grab one of those, and a glass. We need a glass. We need glass. Let's put a couple of these back. Let's get some glass. All right. But anyway, that kind of brings you up to speed. Oh yeah, that's another gold right there. So, I mean, this is a really good area. And so, like I said, I knew we were going to have to move and start loading stuff into storage units like I did back at the other base. We'll head back over there in a little bit here, and then I'll show you what I did over there. So let's set I want an assembly bench. Oh, what are we missing? Gears. And we don't have the stuff to make gears here. I thought I grabbed some. Guess I didn't. We can manually make some. I think there's enough iron around here. I could probably make a couple. How many does it require? So yeah, we're probably going to be able to make a couple of these real quick. So let me run out and grab some iron real fast. Just manually grab it. Wait a second. No, that's the wrong stuff. No, wait, is it? I think that miner is on an osmium. I can't remember. I think it's on osmium. on, copper. That's the osmium. So let me grab some iron and let's maybe grab some iron if I can find some. Yep, that might be a problem. What are we missing for the miners? Gears. Missing gears for everything. Oh, shoot. Because that cleared all this out. I got rid of everything, so there's no ore around here or any of that stuff. Let me look at the car. I didn't see any gears in there. I would have thought I would have brought some because I knew I was going to need them. Nope, no gears. Well, that just sucks. Let me get my inventory emptied out a little bit. I'm going to put in... I think I can make a cabinet. See if we can do that. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, I don't like that these cabinets don't set in the middle of this. You know, it's going by the grid, but still, you should be able to like hit maybe left control, and then you can shift it just a half a shift instead of a whole shift, so it's set in the center. So everything would line up, you know, but it is what it is. So let's dump a bunch of this stuff in there. Get it out of our inventory. Let's empty this thing all the way out, because if we have to go back there to get those gears, then we might as well get a whole bunch more stuff to bring back, just to kick us off and get it started over here. Now see that one, no, it's not, it's off too. I was going to say that one looked like it lined up. So I've got these now. So our max stacks is now 30. It went from 20 to 30, as you can see, which is real nice. All right, so we got all that stuff done. So anyway, so yeah, this is going to be the new base, and as you can see, I'm using a different foundation here. I'm using the stone for the base to be on. I'll probably end up expanding this out that way, because I wanted it out of the way of everything. The only thing that's in the way is this one here, and we can always bring that over and down. Or actually, that's going to be going up top anyway. So, because like I said, we're going to be building a bunch of tier 3 storages back here to send all these parts into. Anyway, so let's go ahead and turn around, go back into the cave. This cave is awesome. I mean, you have no idea how long it takes to drive all the way around this island to get over here. It was ridiculous. Now, I could fly here and using my ship, you know, which would be nothing, you know, but I like driving it, and it's kind of cool with the tunnel. Now, I could take this down a notch and then put down a road through here, because we have the ability to make road. Now, I've seen them, I've watched other people building roads in the game before in videos from some of my friends, and I gotta tell you, not real excited with it. It looks kind of cheesy. It looks like somebody, I don't know, it looks like a light chocolate colored layer of dirt. I mean, it doesn't look much better than the dirt. So I haven't really used them, but I could put asphalt down because we have blocks that look like asphalt. So I could knock this down. I could use my my machine and my leveler machine and knock this down at another 2 notches, and then bring and fill with blocks of asphalt, and it would look cool, I'm sure. And then we could pave it all the way back between the base and back there, between the 2 bases, and then we'd have a nice smooth surface to drive on. Although the ground here, as you can see, it did a really good job, the tunneler, of keeping the ground level. But yeah, that's so fast. It's just unbelievable. We have another cave here. We go through this section, so we don't have to drive around this one. Go right through the middle. Now there is a bulldozer in the game. I don't know what you would use that for unless you wanted to dig down, make it, dig down a bunch before you started tunneling somewhere maybe, or I don't know. I don't get it because the leveler does pretty good about flattening stuff. So I don't understand what the dozer would be used for. And I'm a heavy equipment operator, so that's where I'm retired, but that's neither here nor there. And I'm thinking about widening this out too, so we don't have to slow down. We can just charge through there. I just don't want to end up in the water in this vehicle and lose everything. All right, we're back. All right, first thing let's do, let's grab us some gears. Okay, so yeah, I didn't talk about this. Okay, so obviously I built some stuff. Now I was going to build a building around, I just wanted to test this out to build this building around this thing. And it's all nice and good and well and all that stuff, but the problem with it is that I can't access nothing in here if I close this up and put a roof on it and all that. So, and plus it doesn't fit right, and so I was just trying to get something so I could cover stuff up and make it look more like a factory. But hell, I don't need to do that. I could put something around the exterior, walls all the way around the exterior, build it real tall, cover it up at the top, and then I could still access stuff inside of here. But, so I'm going to end up taking all these walls and stuff down. Because this is where the computer, I think these are the computer chips, yeah. The circuit boards, and then here is the iron beams, and then I believe this is the carbon fiber. Yep. And this is the rods. And I believe these are the gears. And so we need to get closer. And then, of course, I built this is a tier 2 storage unit. I did that, and I ran all this stuff into there. So let me show you what's in there. So now we have silica in here, glass in here, iron rods in here, iron plates in here, and copper plates. So I can pull those on demand without having to carry them in my into my bags now. So let me get this gears real quick. Is this the gears? Yes. So I'm just going to take all of these. Now, I didn't get the gears inside of this one. And what I'm going to end up doing is after I tear all this down, I get all this building out of here and stuff, I'm going to drop another one of these down right here. And then I'm going to shift some of this stuff from this side over there, and then I'm going to run the gears. And what are these? Oh yeah, basalt concrete. So I want to put basalt concrete in there, and I want to put gears in there. So these first two lanes are going to get vacated. I'm going to take these two and move them to the other side, and then I'm going to shift some of this stuff and start shipping it into it as well. So there's going to be changes coming here. I've obviously moved some stuff. I took down some stuff back there. I moved some stuff, and I got, this is the basalt deposit we're using now, and we're obviously sending it here and into there. And so, and then we have all the basalt concrete there. And then this is the silica. And the silica is doing two things. It's making the glass window panes, and it's making just the sacks of silica, which are being fed into there. And then these are iron rods, iron plates, and copper plates. So I got all this set up yesterday, and, I was just doing this stuff, because I thought, let's get going on this stuff. And so, like I said, once I tear this building back down, which is going to be a pain in the butt, once I tear it back down, I am going to shuffle some of this stuff so that I have room and I can put another. I may actually even pick this up and move it back out this way some more. And then so that we can get another one right next to it. And we get the other one next to it. We'll use those. We'll send two of those items over here. And then we're going to get that item going in and this item going in, which is the iron beams, and we will get the computer chips all going in there because it could only hold, I think this one holds fives. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 4, 5. Now the next one, the tier 3 one, which we may end up just building a tier 3 one anyway. The tier 3 one will take 6. It has 6 slots. And so we might just build a tier 3. We may pull this one back out and put another tier 3 right next to it right here, and then we can get all these items over here into one, and then we can start sending all these into storage as well. Now at the other place that's where we're going to be manufacturing the more complex parts that use these advanced assemblers. Advanced assemblers will use, you can use recipes that require up to three parts to build. And so that will make things like, what's it called? Parts for the nuclear reactor, the nuclear reactor, and it will make parts for this thing like the thermal regulator, sensor arrays, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's a couple of parts in the game that require 3 different parts to be combined, and that's what we'll be using that for. Anyway, so yeah, we're back here. We've got the gears now. Let's get some more food. And we don't need the iron plates now because we have iron plates. Let's get back over there. But yeah, I was trying to be creative and build this thing, and I thought, yeah, it'll look cool, but actually it's just stupid because I can't access. I have to come in. I'll end up having to come inside the building every time I want to access something. I don't want to do that. It's just smarter if it's that important to build something, I would build it from the exterior of the foundation all the way around, make it a big gigantic building. But it's really not. I mean, it's a game, so well, I know what I wanted to do. Let's grab us some more food because I want to store some food over there. We don't have any way to get food over there. Store. Yeah. There we go. Now we're full. Let's go ahead and jump in the vehicle. Let's head back over there. Yeah, this rover really just it goes, man. It's really fast, and this thing will climb anywhere, except for sheer walls. It won't climb up sheer walls, but it's climbed some pretty amazing stuff. Because I was testing it out after I built it. We also want to build a cargo ship because that'll be a fast transport for a lot of stuff. I did find something else over here too, I think. I think I found a ruby mine over here somewhere. Oops, where am I going? Oh, yeah. Nope. Did I miss it? I did. Not paying attention. Yeah, I found a large ruby deposit right back here. Right up in that little valley right there. So I'm probably going to dig a tunnel out to it. I'll dig a tunnel from the inside of this tunnel and over into that area so that we can hook up that ruby and mine that ruby. And then we can have that shipped out. We can belt that back into our little area over here, which will be real nice. And then we can be mining rubies and manufacturing whatever the rubies make. I think they make like 2 items, I think. 2 or 3. I think everything else, the sapphire, the diamonds, and all that stuff only make 1 thing, but I think the ruby makes 2 or 3 items. 2, I think. But they are required in some recipes too. And that's just the gem, not being cut or anything. And these guys, they were really inventive when they built this thing. I mean, it's really cool. And I mean, it's not as complex as, like, say, Satisfactory, but in as far as the machines and things, but they really put an effort into this thing. They did a really good job. I like it. I liked Planet Crafter. I played Planet Crafter from the demo when it first was brought onto Steam, but I think this is way better. Okay, we're going to need to build a garage for this thing so we can charge it. How's the battery looking? That's all right. All right, so we got a bunch of stuff that we need to store in here. Bunch of gears. We can't build another one. We don't have any glass. We can now. Well, that's right. We do have glass. I forgot about that because we are shipping it into our storage unit. So glass, boom. I could even find some mines out in the middle of nowhere that really aren't that important, and I could mine the raw ore and ship it into a little store in a tier 1 storage container, and have access to all the ores as well in case I need them. Like we could use some raw iron ore to make the gears and stuff here. So, anyways, that being said, all right, we should be able to. What are we missing? We shouldn't be missing anything now, and we're not. All right. So I want to get some of these mines going here. Oh, there's a ruby ore right here. I forgot. That's where it's at. Okay, so we have a ruby ore here, which is real nice. And all this area has got everything. Like I said, it's got everything that we're going to need. We need to get some iron going and stuff too. So let's get the foundations done. Now I'm using the roof tile ones because I like them because they're black and the way their lines set up. Yep, there we go. I love how I can lay this foundation this fast. When I first started laying foundations at the other place, I didn't have the storage unit, the warehouse set up yet, and I was having to manually craft all this stone and into cement, and it was just a pain in the butt. Not into the cement, but into these little storage containers, and I could only use so much at a time, and it took forever just to build anything. I mean, it was insane. Right, nice little area right there. When we get these foundations in, then we can start setting up the miners on all this stuff. Gotta be careful with the rock stuff. I can't really push it, so that's gonna be good for that. The ore now, you can build, I could probably cover them and they would still work. If I try to cover this or I get too close or I crowd it, then I have issues with it. So with these ones, I can get these ore nodes, I can get pretty close. It doesn't seem to really have a problem. There we go. Now here's the thing. We're gonna refine the cobalt, but we don't really use cobalt for anything. And there must be a recipe for something because I know we had to refine it back at that first area we were in into those like rod looking, the round, they look like what's it called? The green stuff, radiation stuff. It looks like those when we made those, they're that same shape, that round tube like shape. But I don't understand. I can't remember for the life of me what we were using them to make. They must make something, or they did do something, but I just can't remember what it was. Because we have a container full of them over there, and we're not doing anything with them. And so I haven't come across any of the recipes that require them, or I don't remember them. Maybe it was in the beginning or whatever. Now this node here, and this is another danger that you can happen. This node here, I think we talked about this earlier in the videos when we first were starting to move out into the area that's our base over there. I lost this when it dropped down when I was trying to clear some of the concrete when I was closing this in. I had a piece of dirt, ground that was like right up on top of this level, and I just went to clear it out, and this thing sunk. And so I spent like I don't know 5 or 10 minutes trying to get it to rise back up, but it wouldn't. So I said to hell with it. So I just covered it around like this, and it's just this little hole that the miner mines it from. But that being said, so that's the only thing you got to be kind of careful about with this stuff. We have two of these cobalt mines right here, or nodes, and like I keep saying, I don't really remember what we used it for, and we haven't been using it for anything lately, actually. Running out of my area, my ability to move in any direction this way. I'm locked out, so let's go back to this side. See if we can finish filling this in. I need to go inside and get some oxygen here in a minute because I'm at the limits of my travel space now. Come on. Come on. It's going to tell me a warning here right now. Where the hell am I? Far from the base. I might die. Holy crap. 6. Food. Get 6. Ah! Darn it. Can't believe I just died. Unbelievable. Idiot. Where's the food? Oh, I took it all out of my bag. No wonder I couldn't feed myself. I'm a moron. Put the food back in. Where is the trash can? I have a trash can here somewhere, I think. Maybe not. It's time to put one in. Get rid of the concrete. We don't carry concrete anymore. Sort. Let's open our tab. And let's put that in 6. Right where that trash can is. Let's eat. Dummy! So, yeah, this is, I like this color and these patterns. I'm going to probably end up framing this out in stone or concrete just to kind of set it off. And I even thought about doing it around each one of these ore nodes, but I don't want to. I don't want to spend a lot of time on stuff like that because it's not that important. All right, so we're all square here. Let's move farther out this way so we can get some of these other nodes that are over here. What the heck is this? Oh, that's the cobalt. Yeah, I don't know why they sit like that. Can I get another one right there? Yeah, we can. What do you know? All right, let's get all these. I'm just trying to get all these ready for miners. And then we can belt everything and we'll be on concrete or on foundations. We won't have to deal with unlevel surfaces or whatever. Righty then. I think this is, nope, that's the farthest one out. Yeah, but I was having to come now. I tried going around this way to go back to the island or back to our base, but it's a really crappy area, and I was using the rover, and I had already put away the leveling deal. And so what I was driving, when I first started coming here, I was driving all the way around the outside of this, all the way back over there, and it just take forever. I mean, it was ridiculous. And so now that I dug the tunnel and it's just a straight shot, it's like I'm hearing nothing flat. It's real, real nice. Real nice. Okay. All right, so I'm going to finish building this foundation. And once I'm done doing that, we'll be back because I'm sure you're getting bored with watching me put all these foundations down now. All right, so back in a sec. I'm going to be doing this for a while. I think we'll go ahead and call this episode done for right now. Get out of the way here. I've got to remove quite a bit of this back because, as you can see from our foundations and where our machines are, we're going to need another 30 feet for building the factories and stuff. So we're going to get all the way back to that next rise, and I got to cut all this out of here. And so I'll do that off camera so you guys don't have to deal with it. But anyways, I was just kind of giving you an idea how this machines work. And it works pretty quickly. And what I will end up doing is I'll come in here and cut here, cut straight back, cut here, cut straight back, and I'll leave these sections, and then I'll take the sections out one by one. And it doesn't take really that long, but I know you guys don't want to sit here and watch me do this for the next like 35 minutes. And so anyways, we'll call that an episode, and we'll return again tomorrow, hopefully. And there won't be, and we'll have some of this stuff get set up and going, and we'll see where we're at. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and leave a comment. We appreciate you. Thanks for watching. This is Crazy with Crazy Gaming, and we will see you in the next one, my friend. Bye for now.